So here I am in the control center of the brain. You can hear and see that there's a lot going on here. Notice the web of bundles of nerve cords leading from one part of the brain to another and out to the central nervous system. This virtually is the wiring to and from the brain. And notice the thousands of signals and commands firing all at the same time, sending directions and commands to the different parts of the brain and nervous system and body. It's really like the central processing unit of the brain computer. And look at the wall of thousands of switches that are controlled by the programming input into the brain from what we accept from others, what we hear, what we feel, what we see, experience, think, and most importantly, say to ourselves. Now I'm going to go in and actually do some programming of the brain. This is exactly what happened to Betty Weber 12 years ago and caused her to become who she is today, the international field president, successful $1 million per year earner, Elizabeth Weber. First, it begins with a realization, an insight, an idea or thought that you get or accept. A billionth of a volt snaps across your cerebral cortex when you make up your mind. That's all it takes to change your identity and begin programming your mind. That's exactly what happened to Elizabeth Weber when I got inside her brain. First, she was open-minded and receptive because she already began programming her brain by being around positive people, by rejecting negative people, by going to seminars and events, and by reading positive material, and by listening to tapes. You see, what you put in front of your eyes, and what you listen to and accept from others, and what you experience and feel programs your brain. You see, that programmed hope, and it programmed a positive attitude, an I can attitude. And because of that programming, it programmed the brain to overcome her fears. So, it shut off her fears, it programmed the right attitude, and it caused her to have the hope necessary to build the business. I told Elizabeth that she could be the first to earn $2,100 per week. And if she did that, it would take less time to earn $6,300 per week because it was half done and the MPCP compounds. Well, she accepted it and believed it. And what's more important is what she told herself. When people ask how she knew it was a proven plan, she said, I'm going to prove it. Then she got her people saying, we're going to prove it. We're going to make it happen. Now, I would get Elizabeth seeing herself as a director, then as a field vice president, then as an executive field vice president, senior field vice president, international field president. We would figure out exactly what she had to do to get there so that her brain could logically see how it would happen and accept it. So we programmed logic, and the logic made her brain understand how it was going to happen. Then Elizabeth began to think like a success. She refused to think negatively. She chose to think like a success, like a director or a field vice president. Of course, I helped her by feeding her mind and encouraging her, but she was open to it and stayed in close contact with me all the time. Thinking is like the keyboard to the brain computer. The more she thought like a field vice president, the more she became like one, and the stronger the programming until she was one mentally. That caused her to act. And she overcame fear by taking action. So her brain was actually programmed to make her act. But most important, throughout it all, she talked to herself, which is the most powerful form of programming. She would say, I am the best. I will prove that it works, and I will set the pace. She would say to herself, it's the greatest opportunity for the average person. And over again, she would say, Market America is the greatest company. I am the top UFO and distributor. I believe in my people. They are the best and I empower them. I can do anything I want to do. I am the proof. I am earning $1 million per year. I will change the industry by setting the example for others to follow. I am free. This is powerful programming. And her thinking made her dreams manifest into reality because she demonstrated success all the time. So her brain was actually programmed to make her dreams come true. But there wasn't a day that she didn't talk to herself. When someone said something or she thought something for a second that didn't support her dream and identity, she would turn it around and restate it in the positive to herself as if it were done. Not a day went by without her associating with positive people and listening to tapes and reading. and thinking about the future and acting on her goals and what she really wanted. And most importantly, talking to herself in order to program her brain. She refused to listen to negative people or to complainers and immediately put them in their place. There wasn't a problem that she couldn't solve because she truly cared and believed in people, and she was responsive to their needs and uplifted them rather than bringing them down. She responded with strength rather than weakness as a leader. So she was actually programmed to be responsive to her people and to respond to situations. She became a creative problem solver as well as a creative duplicator. She actually helped create the unfranchised system because she was programmed to create and draw upon higher powers in herself. So she was actually programmed, her brain was programmed for creativity and to solve problems. It was nearly effortless after that, after a while, because she programmed herself to be a hopeless success, and as a result, she became an international field president because she programmed her brain to be one, and the rest just happened. She was also programmed to be the spirit of Market America. Her brain actually caused her to be the spirit of this business. Ladies and gentlemen, she wasn't always like that. She was just like you. Let me leave the Brain Control Center now and show you exactly how to program your brain. But look what Programming Betty's brain did. It resulted in the successful $1 million per year earner, international field president, Elizabeth Weber.